What's going on YouTube? Today we're gonna be reviewing one of my friend's car here. He's got the new Tesla S75D in silver, and we're gonna do like always, get right into it and see what's what. Try to get some details on it. Hopefully I can touch some bases that not a lot of people have. So let's get right to it. First thing right away, compared to my GT350, the paint quality is just in another league. It's very nice quality, high gloss, nice pearl to it. Don't see a whole lot of orange peel, but yeah, it looks very thick, nice quality paint there. Clear coat looks good. I mean, can't complain. Not sure if I would have chosen silver, but hey, silver looks good. Let's see here. He went ahead and changed the rims. These are the HRE FF01s, 20-inch. But yeah, they're 255 2040s, both front and back. So you should be able to rotate them as times go by, and that's the beauty of these electric cars. You know, all you gotta really do is just rotate tires front and back and you're good to roll. Not much to do. I know these companies want to, you know, ding you and charge you a little bit to bring your car in for all these little supposedly checkups for your car, but people have been saying, you know, they really don't do much there. Just make sure your batteries are good and all that. But let's see here. Yeah, I mean, all these details. Love this polished chrome, you know, side mirror arms. Looks very high class, nicely designed. You know, it doesn't look cheap. Some of the other chromes and some of the other cars just look real cheap and feel cheap, but you know, these don't look bad at all. You know, these door handles, you know, they pop out when you approach the vehicle, and same thing, you know, they feel nice. You know, I would say actually you can see a little bit of movement in there. Actually, now I touch it a little bit in close, it feels a little bit plasticky. I'm not sure if this is actually metal or composite resin. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, that could have been made a little better, I guess, but not complaining. I know they had some problems with these door handles not sticking out, or the motor wasn't working properly in the very early production models, but they fixed that now. Let's look at some of these panel gaps. Seem better, but at least they're very uniform. You know, not like my car. I'm sure you guys seen my video. You know, none of the taps are showing or anything like that crazy. You know, the gaps are fairly decent size. My you know, you can see my fingers fits in there fairly decent. But again, nothing's crooked or very even. So all in all, do some little 360 for you guys. Again, the front end, I gotta say, with the new refresh they did, what is it, a year ago, it just looks 10 times better than it used to before. I don't know, there's mixed opinions on it. I know some people like the original grill, but I disagree. I think this one just makes things much cleaner and sharper on the front. Just kind of soaking it all in here. And that little trunk lip is an aftermarket, I believe, right? Yep, that is an aftermarket. Looks good. All right, actually, let's talk about one more thing. This, I thought actually this was damaged part, but evidently it comes out like this, where the front distance sensors sits very flush here, everywhere else, but on the very corners. I guess they try to get that extra degree angle towards the rear, but it sits a little bit further in than the body panel itself, and it's the same on the other side. So I'm sure that's been done by purpose as a design feature, but there it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like it that way. Let's look at something that some of you might not be totally accustomed to, which is a frunk. I used to have this when I had my Boxster S, and obviously this car as well, it doesn't have an engine, so they try to utilize all the space as much as they can. Looks like you can fit about a good duffel bag or maybe a small carry-on bag. That will work right in here just perfect. And if the car doesn't have the D, meaning if it's not a all-wheel drive, I'm told that the front trunk size is much bigger. So but yeah, that's definitely a nice feature, you know, nothing to complain about. It's something that I wish I had, which is a huge size trunk. You know, you could literally have this car as a everyday everything car for your family. Some of the other options, you can even have a rear facing seats as a almost like a third row seating. I'm not sure exact cubic inch. I'll try to put that up on my right side, but yeah, I mean, you can easily fit full size carry-on bags, probably 2-3 of them. No problems. I tried my full-size baby stroller, it fits in there, no problems. I mean, you really don't need an SUV when you have a car like this, and just use this as an everything car. This is pretty perfect in that matter. The trunk is almost like a hatchback design, so you definitely get a lot more height on the trunk space as well. So it's almost kind of like a wagonish, but not quite. All right, so that's it for the exterior. Let's take a look at the interior of the car and see. Well, before we do that, let's take a look at the mirror here. It's a very nice size, actually. It's kind of hard for me to explain, but when you're inside looking at the side mirrors, your view is very, very good. There's not a lot of blind spot in there, even though it doesn't have any kind of extra mirror like I have in my car for blind spot detection, but it's a nice, nicely done. You got that little nice chrome touch on the bottom, and the regular paint on the top. It goes well. Looks very luxurious. If I can figure out, there you go. So when you push on it, you just push a little bit. You pull. I mean, you pull a little bit, and pretty much the rest of it, the motor does its job for you. The door pops out. You don't have to apply a whole lot of pressure to do it, but it's a nicely weighted door. Feels heavy and solid. The closing opening feels solid and nice. This one doesn't have the leather seating, but the very nice material. I actually like this material. It wears really well, and you know, especially hot weathers in California, you know, it doesn't burn you or anything like that. So well, let's get inside. And immediately the party piece of this car is something that you notice the most, is this huge center stack screen. It's almost size of 2 iPads put together, almost. Maybe not that big, but definitely bigger than a full-size iPad, that's for sure. And the response is nice. You know, it's not one of those laggy older systems where you have to wait and everything buffers. Everything works very well. Very nice high definition screen. Same goes for the driver's side. Gauge dash, you can customize this to however you're liking it. The beautiful part about this display here is a lot of companies try to tilt the display towards to you this way to get the glare out, so you know you can still see the view. But Tesla have done their own little trick, so even with the display leaning back so it's easier on your eyes, it's not so in your face, you know, you really don't get any of that glaring effect even the you know, the sun hits it. What else is going on? The top is kind of hard for me to say. Is this it feels like a leather, or maybe, I don't know if it's a fake leather or real leather, but it feels like real leather. But it almost feels like one of those softer plastic material that Mercedes and BMW use quite often. But it feels more like leather to my touch. It feels a lot soft. I don't know if you can see that cushion. But yeah, feels good. All the A-pillar and the roof, it's covered in nice black suede. Again, who doesn't like suede, right? It always looks good in suede. So again, towards the center stack here, because the car doesn't really need a whole lot of drivetrain components like the you know, the drive shaft. You know, you got all the space in the world, and if you open this up, and again, nice, and this feels real good, real solid. You know, you have a lot of space down here all the way into, you know, inside. It's massive amounts of storage space, including a huge cup holders. Here's another one down there, another cup holders, and then let's see if the armrest slides forward and back. Yeah, I mean, I actually like the fact that Tesla covered this all up, because some companies with electric cars, they leave this completely open down to the floor with a little bit of a side wall. And I don't know if I would like that, because you really can't hold anything in there. It will slide around too much. I'd rather have it encased just like this inside the compartment. So yeah, again, feels good. Nice high quality plastic here. Doesn't feel cheap. It's nice rubberized texture on there. So yeah, anything that you can really touch with your hands from your driver's seat, everything feels nice. The steering wheel is nice thickness, that nice notch for your thumb, and you know, just right grip on it. It's got a little bit of a D-cut steering, you know, flat bottom, not hugely flat, but it's got just enough. But yeah, nice size steering. Maybe the clicks here, it does feel a little bit on the cheaper side. It's kind of in between. Maybe I would say the click itself feels kind of like an Audi, but the material feels a little bit on the cheaper side. This is the cheaper plastic right here, but yeah, so it's got this nice flowy line all throughout the car. It starts from the door and goes all the way through, and you can see it kind of, you can see the designers that try to make some uniform. Also, not just the top, goes along the bottom edge. You know, nothing's you know, left with rulers, isn't, meaning nothing's just designed on, you know, just scales and rulers. I mean, they really put some thoughts into making sure everything feels a little bit that extra special to the person who buys a car, and that's something that some of the other older companies can learn. You know, I'm sure it doesn't take that much more money to create these type of little bit of off-angle shapes and whatnot to just make things a little bit more interesting. Some of these parts, though, I realize I've seen it before. These transmission, your gear knob, it's pretty much straight off from Mercedes-Benz. Looks exactly the same as the window buttons and all these buttons on the side. Yeah, it feels strikingly similar. My wife used to have a CLA 250, and that used to have pretty much almost exact same thing here. But hey, not complaining. If you're gonna outsource it to someone, you know, same company who makes it for Mercedes-Benz, that can't be too bad, right? But yeah, it's got good seat position. I got enough. I'm 6'1", and it's got enough telescoping on the steering wheel. I can easily rest my hands, and my feet and my knees have plenty of leg room. My head, again, yep, no problems. I'm sure if you're even a bigger person, you should still have plenty of room. Again, very, very comfortable car. Definitely fits the what it's been designed for, which is to be able to daily drive. The car does its job, and we'll probably get into that a little bit down the road when we talk about the driving impression. Check out the back seat. Yep, so as you can see, the front seat has been matched to my own height, and plenty of leg room. Let's get in there. Yep, look at that. That's actually, I feel actually a lot more roomy than, I would say, like a BMW 5 Series, even a Mercedes E-Class. I feel like I have less room. This car is actually, on the paper, supposed to be similar wheelbase and width as a Mercedes S-Class, so it definitely shows that room. And again, on the bottom, again, no transmission tunnel, so again, they made this little cut down here, so even someone sitting in the middle can rest their foot just like that, and it feels perfectly comfortable. Yeah, this car will seat 5 adults, no problems, and you can go on long cruises without having any complaints. And again, seats do feel comfortable even on the back. Decent lumbar support, and again, the room mirror, nice frameless room mirror, looks very high quality. It's almost like a polar opposite to my car, isn't it? My car is all about just driving and all the sensation you get when you drive hard. This car is a polar opposite of it. It's you know, it's made to insulate you yourself, driver, from the outer and driving environment, and that in effect creates this very tranquil driving experience. And if someone looking for something like that, it's definitely there to give it to you. Yeah, so I think that kind of sums up the interior and exterior impressions. Not sure if I left off too many things. But yeah, guys, again, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave me a note. And yeah, the next video I'll try to give you guys some driving impressions and see how this car feels compared to my GT350, and see how that goes. That'll be interesting experience. I haven't driven this car, so we'll see how it goes. Thanks, guys. Take care.